Okay, I think we'll go live at right now. There you go. 30 minutes past 7. So welcome firstly to everyone for joining. Well done. Well done for again choosing to invest in yourself, in your own development, taking the investment of time, one of the most expensive currencies in the world simply because there is absolutely zero refund on it. So whatever you are spending your time doing, make sure that it benefits you somehow. And this is not to say there's anything wrong with leisure. Nothing wrong with leisure. Leisure is great, right? I think we all need a little bit of rest and recovery. But make sure that when you are spending it in other areas or on other days or most of the time, make sure that the things that you are investing in is actually going to be benefiting you. And yeah, I'm quite excited for tonight's topic. The topic has to do with change and how to adapt in a time of change. We're going to come up with some real-time solutions, which is quite fun. Mom Layla, how are you? Can you hear me clearly over there? Okay, 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 okay. Okay, Mom Layla, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, cool. So as I was saying, right? Oh, okay, that's the problem. That's the problem. I was asking, can you hear me? Can you hear me? But it's cool. How are you doing, Mom Layla? Is it the audio? Is it my side? Okay, cool. So while Mom Layla is trying to figure out her sound over there, yes, time is definitely one of the most expensive currencies and there's no refund on it. So make sure that you spend it wisely. Our topic of discussion is how to adapt in times of change. Can you hear me now, Mom Layla?
I can. I
Okay,
can.
okay, perfect. So the topic that we have tonight is adapting in times of change. And I know that, Mom Layla, this is a topic that you brought up. So I'm
I
quite
did.
excited. Can I just maybe understand why this is something that you feel needs to be discussed? Yeah, give us some backdrop on that.
Okay. Yeah, basically, with the whole pandemic and everything, that makes life very difficult for us in the real estate business.
Yeah.
Obviously, because we can't get out there and we can't view property with clients, and we now need to re-strategize and re-look at the way we do things.
Mm,
We obviously are not an industry that can sell a house off the internet or off pictures or links or anything of that
mm,
sort. We need to
okay.
literally take clients out and get them to physically view the property. So
Yeah.
it does impact on us really greatly.
Yeah.
And I need to figure out a way to get past that whole, not being able to physically view. So I
Mm,
have clients
yeah.
and funny enough, today I was supposed to have taken a client out
Mm,
to view, and the sellers both, well, the entire family has uh, tested positive for the
COVID.
COVID virus, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and actually we couldn't go out there. So
Wow.
yeah, this is the problem we're experiencing right now, which is
Wow.
sure is hectic on our line of business right now.
Yeah. Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense. So clearly this is something new that you guys are dealing with, right? And I think that's the problem, is that it's new.
Yes,
So there's something that I learned quite a while, right? So um, it's that you can't deal with a new problem with old solutions, right? It's not going to work. So I think something that maybe we can have a discussion on now is maybe to bounce the ideas around to see how we can come up with a couple of solutions for your industry. How cool is that? How cool is that? You're going to be a
it's
trendsetter
very
tonight.
cool.
Yeah. But okay, cool. So first things first, Mom. When you are dealing with anything, right? And this is something that I had to learn as well, because change happens all the time. There's always something new happening.
True.
There's always like something is different from what it was before. There's always a new mountain to face, but it doesn't matter really. The thing that you can basically control are the things that you need to have control over, if that makes sense. And what you do
Yes.
have control over is your mind and your own actions. So that's always the starting point, if that makes sense. You can only control what you have
Somewhat.
control. Okay, no, we'll get there.
Somewhat.
So why I'm saying that is because there are external things that you have no control over, like what happened now with COVID. The government can easily decide to move to another level that restricts even more movement. But again, that's out of your control. So as long as it's out of your control, I don't think you should be worrying about it. What you should be looking at this thing is, or looking at this thing as, is an opportunity. There's something new that can come out of it. You can actually innovate now and create something that can benefit your entire industry, like we just said. So if you were to come up with solutions, mom, right? You in your own capacity, how can you maybe adapt? Just rough ideas. We'll have a discussion on it. What can you do to sort of like wiggle your way around this and still continue to sell homes? What are your ideas?
Okay. Yeah, it's something I touched on with you the other day.
Mhm.
Online bidding, online
Okay.
auctions,
Yeah,
never been done
yeah.
when it comes to housing and property. Um, and it's very fearful in the sense that you don't know if it's going to work, first of all, but at the
Mm,
same time, a lot goes into it. Um, a
mm,
lot of legalities and all of that. So I went away and I tried to find out more about it after our discussion.
mm.
And there's a lot of legalities to it. So you
Okay.
basically have to have documentation done up and all of that with an
Mm,
attorney, and
mm,
it needs to be signed um, by a master of oaths and blah de blah de blah. So
mm,
it's a long process,
mm.
but then again, we don't know the time frame on this pandemic as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
So the
so okay,
online bidding.
so let me ask you a question though. You were selling houses in 4 days, right? 4 days, where it was 30 days. Okay, let's use the campaign. You were selling houses in 30 days. That in itself is a very ridiculous process. What did you have to do? Who did you have in place to actually make sure that those deals go through? Like, tell us, what was the team? What was your team looking like? What was your team made up of? Yeah.
My team was made up of me, myself, and I, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hear where you're going with this, but it's a
Mm,
lot different. Um, there
okay.
wasn't a legal aspect to that. With the online bidding, if you actually sell a
Mm,
property online, auction, and you're not an auction house, first of all,
okay. Yeah.
there's legalities to it. There is legalities to it. So
Okay.
for anyone to just like basically say, okay, you know what, we selling this house and we're running a bidding campaign, and we're giving it 4 days and people come on and they bid and all of that. Your documentation, the legalities has to be in place. I do have someone who I could sit with who is an
Mm,
attorney,
mm,
and who basically does conveyancing, who,
mm,
yeah, his prime work is conveyancing. And I guess if
mm,
I could sit down with him, I could get a better idea of where to from here, if that is the idea I want to go with.
mm. I
So,
think, okay, yes, go.
hmm, I'm done.
Okay, cool. So I think this is something that I found out very recently, right? Because I had this idea that I was also pushing and punting, and then COVID somehow did have a role to play in it. In that, when I went to the person originally, they were like, "Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, 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 yeah." And then the next week, people saw the COVID numbers, and then they were like, "Hey, I don't know if this is such a good idea." So the task that actually came out of that was I had to go back and plan an organization or create an organizational structure. And something that I found, right, that I actually want to emphasize here to the world is that your strength really lies in your network. So there's a saying that I actually want to mention here, and I think it's been abused, but I'm going to abuse it even more if that's what it takes. The saying is, show me your friends and I will show you your future. Right. So what that basically speaks about is who is in your network. If you want to build anything significant, you shouldn't have to look too far, especially because you've been in a certain industry for X amount of years. Who in your industry that you know that you can partner with that can actually help you solve this equation? Because I know a lot of times we want to do it ourselves, right? Because we do have that. Just because we are capable of doing it doesn't mean that we have to be the ones to do it. Sometimes your friend that's in that space can actually do a much better job than you. But I think, Mom, before I bring you in there, I want to get Madam Winnie's take on this. Madam Winnie, good evening. Welcome to the call. So we're having a discussion here, Madam Winnie, about times of change. And obviously as change happens like this whole COVID-19 has brought a complete change to the way we see life. It has brought a complete change to many industries as well. So now you are in a space where industries are struggling to adapt to this new norm. So maybe you can give us some insight here as to what your thoughts are on how we can actually go about to adapt to this change. Yeah, that would be great. Go for it.
Myself. Good evening.
Good evening.
I should be the one who come with the idea of what. Maybe need to repeat the.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We just want your thoughts on it, right? So change is happening all the time in our lives. Look at the sports industry. It has shifted from no fans, from being stadium full to no stadium, to no fans in the stadium. And now clubs have had to not reinvent the wheel, but they had to innovate as to how they can create and produce another source of revenue to cover that loss, right? So that's actually happening to many industries. So I want to find out from you, what are some of the things that we can do to actually adapt to that change? How do we develop innovative ideas so that we are not caught by the wave, but so rather that we can surf it and make it benefit us? Yeah.
Okay. By my side, I think we need to use, as I can say, social media is the first thing, is more powerful. Because if you do advertisement through media, everyone nowadays, because everyone maybe is indoors, they're more on their phone than on TV and stuff like that. Most of people now, they're using phone than a TV, because a phone is something that is a movable object. You can go with it everywhere you want to go. To me, I think putting everything in the social media is the best way. And then for us to, can say, because everything from now on, because Gauteng is the biggest with this COVID numbers, they can say we can stop this. But being indoors, adapting the thing of connecting through the Zoom, connecting through WhatsApp and stuff like that. And those the one that you've charged, show me your friend, then I'll show you your future. Then it's true, because whatever you have in your friends, or whatever you have in your friends in your WhatsApp group or Instagram, are the ones that are going to see you in the media than the ones that you just maybe meet one person around. I think media, through internet connection is where we can build our business, and we can see growth, because a lot of people now, they're starting to study through online. Even UNISA now, they're doing online. You can see that everything is changing. So meaning the power is in network marketing. If you're doing the markets, you need to market it through marketing, through network, through WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, something like that. I can say, yeah. I don't
Okay. No, I think that makes sense. Ma'am Leila, what do you think about that? Is social media something that you can turn to in this situation?
Mm, Tevin, I must be really honest with you. Again,
Okay.
it goes back to what I actually do. I basically, a sale depends on seeing someone face to face, on having them taken to a property and saying, okay, you know what, here's the viewing, this is the kitchen, blah, sign. But for me, social media, yes, it does. I'm not even going to I'm not even going to say no, that doesn't work. It absolutely does, but not in this instance, not in what I need to do right now. So I can advertise the property. I can
Yeah,
absolutely advertise the very same property I want to take the client out to, but they want to view it before they put their signature. You must remember, a fairly okay property starts from R500,000.
okay.
So if people are going to put down R500,000, they want to see, touch, feel what they're buying. So that is my game. I need to get them to see, touch, feel. And it's
Okay.
right now it is
You say
it,
it is impossible based on the
it's highly
regulations.
impossible. Yes. We just closed offices this week. There was a basically a letter going out saying, you know what, one of our colleagues had passed away from the COVID-19 virus, and people have then said, because of the numbers, we are not allowed to come to the office unless we need an important document, we need an addendum done, or we need to put our mandates on file, that kind of thing. But we're not allowed to work from the office. Everyone's been said, you know what, go home, you work from home. But again, working from home or working from the office, my line of work is going to meet the client.
So, okay, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Let's just say online was a possibility. Let's say I decided that, okay, cool, I'm into this house that you are, or this idea of yours of auctioning, or I'm willing to buy my house virtually. What would that process look like? If you can just walk us through that steps. And then Madam Wina, I think if you can give us maybe some input as to how we can improve the setup. But I think Mam Leila, go for it.
Again, it's going to go back to the viewing eventually. So I'd take you out. Well, actually, we'd communicate. You'd a bid. We would either accept the offer or decline it, depending on the seller. But then the offer would be subject to the successful viewing of the property. So again, it's held up again. It's held up again till I can actually take you literally to go and view the property. So again, we stuck at point one. Yes, we could put we could bid the property, we could take it on auction and that kind of thing. The good part about an auction house is the legality, and I worked for an auction house before. The legality in that is there is in the finer print, it says we're not obliged to show you the property.
Okay.
But in real estate, selling property, housing, and commercial and all of that, our line of business is fairly different from the auction house, because we need to take you out to view the property. A lot of properties that are on auction is either distressed or bank repos and that kind of thing. So there isn't really a need to take the client out. In the finer print, they state that we're not obliged, because they know chances are you're going to buy a property with people in that property that you yourself as the buyer now needs to evict. The eviction process goes on to you. So they've covered the property from the auction house side. Us as real estate agents, we could get into really a big load of hot water if we decide, okay, you know what, we're going to do this bidding, and we don't have our legalities checked out and, well, our I's dotted and T's crossed. we would get into a problem. The legal side of it would come in and say, you know what, we didn't even view the property. And then if they take us to court for that, we would lose. We would then be liable for costs
Mhm.
for the seller, the buyer, because we've kind of screwed that whole deal up.
Mm.
So again, how I would actually protect myself as a real estate agent is in the actual offer, and the offer can be electronic, but in the offer I would actually state subject to the successful viewing of the property at a later date. So I
Mhm.
could basically save the sale
Yeah.
for later, but then I'm exactly where I am. I'm still not working.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm still not signing the deal. It's still not going to the conveyancer. It's still not lodging. It's still not registering. So I'm literally where I am.
Okay. Okay. So what else can you then do as a real estate agent besides just selling houses? So it seems that COVID right now has you trapped, right? Cool. So now maybe it's time you do something else. What
Uh,
else can a real estate agent do? Yeah.
Well, I got to bring the bacon home. So I
Mhm.
guess I would have to start an ambassador journey with other people and
Okay.
steal yours.
With what other real estate agents maybe?
Yes.
Other, because this is how I see, right? I think your auction idea is really cool, and I think it can work. The thing where you are caught is that you're not selling to everyone anymore. So if you look at the real estate agency, they just want to move the product. That's their aim, right? So they
Yes.
want to sell to whoever comes along. Whereas if you look at the auction route, you are actually now just narrowing down the people that you want to work with, right?
True.
So instead of you selling it to everyday people, you are looking to sell to people who are looking for an investment opportunity.
Yes.
So that's the market that now becomes your target market. And I
Mhm.
think maybe these are different things that you can maybe now use to your advantage. Because if you look at the most successful brands in the world, they don't cater for everyone. They cater for the like-minded people. So they want to only work with people who think like them.
Yes.
So you've come up now with this idea. I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that you need to actually pursue, especially because you have influence in your industry, which means you can come up with a new concept like you did before, and you have people in your industry that will actually back your idea. So I think if you bring up this sort of idea again and like just speak about what's the possibilities from this, and you speak to the people who will think like you, I think you can really do something special. Because once you get enough people to think like you can work on the project, you can then also get the people on the outside who need to purchase the project or need to um, be a part of the auction. To you'll get people like that who also think like you. So then it becomes an us. You're catering for an us circle rather than for everyone else. It's just this group of people. This is how we think. If you don't like what we do, there's another real estate agent who might be willing to help you and take you to the different
Sure.
homes.
Sure. I like that. I do.
Okay, cool. So let's discuss practical aspects to this now. So do you have a lawyer in your corner? I know that you do.
I
You've been getting gifts from these lawyers for years now, right?
do. Yes, I do.
Because
No
I
shortage
see,
of that.
you see, so what I'm actually noticing now is that real estate agents are basically, if I can just liken it to sports, you guys are the athletes. You guys are on the ground. Because without you, the lawyers don't get work either.
Absolutely.
Right. So maybe it should be a case now where, okay, cool, as individual silos, we're not going to win. We can't win. But maybe if we come together and work as a team and come to some sort of agreement amongst one another as to how this is going to work, what the potential benefits of this might be. These are the pros, these are the cons. What are the solutions to those cons? I think if you can come together like that with your network, I think you'll have a different monster now.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's if I could just jump in there. Look, it would absolutely work because
Mm.
again, like I said, the attorneys, the conveyancers need us. They really
Yeah.
do. And they would, I mean, like you've said, I've been given gifts, diamonds as gifts,
Mm.
so they would move heaven and earth to
Mm.
basically get the business in for themselves. So if
Yeah.
I could actually put together all those people that I spoke about who was willing to
Mm.
follow me in my company,
Mm.
and have them, we share the property, and we
Mm.
basically say, okay, you know what, one fee is what we get out of the sale of every property. Everybody has a hand in it.
Mm.
But we're going to do it the auction way. This is my idea. This is what we're going to do. This is the
Mm.
attorneys we're going to use. We get the
Mm.
legalities sorted out. We get a sorry, for lack of a
No
better
problem.
word,
Yeah.
a computer techno in to
Okay.
drop the whole app and do the whole app and all of that, and
Yeah.
we start running with that
Yeah.
and
So I
promoting
think,
online bidding.
yeah. So then the role of the estate agent then becomes more diverse because now
Yes,
you're not only just selling the product, you're now also adding to your skill set, which is marketing, because now you need to find a way to convey this message. You have to communicate this
yes,
idea of yours. So as real estate agents, you might have strengths in different areas. Some people might be comfortable with video, right? The
yes,
people who are comfortable with video can create videos and get the message out there via video. There are people who are more comfortable with blogging, right? And you then, the people who are comfortable with blogging, they blog about it. The people who are comfortable with texting or via WhatsApp or whatever the case may be, you get those channels running as well. So what you then become is you become more valuable, I think, to the industry as well, because you're not only doing the selling only, and now you're only known
mm,
for selling, and that's the only place that you are valuable in. Because you are now developing your skill set, your value is increasing. Now you become an expert marketer as well. So now there's two revenue streams that you can actually benefit from as a real estate agent. You benefit from selling the actual house, but you now also benefit from marketing and getting the people to this new platform that you're speaking about. Maybe in your agreements with your lawyers, you can ask for a commission fee. That way, there's no business that actually needs to form. You
yeah,
just take a 10% fee from you bringing a new client into this pool. And even beyond that, you can now become an entrepreneur, create an ambassador's journey like Vibe, and add all your like-minded people who will be auctioning on the day, create a group for them and continually send information to that group, how maybe good advice on how they can be buying. What's a good auction deal, for example? What's a bad auction deal? How to tell the difference. Maybe there's so many things that you can do from this. If you just change how you see it, like you're still a human
absolutely.
as much as, yeah. Yes, go.
As you're talking, I'm actually seeing the bigger picture. I really am. I absolutely am. And
It's hard.
whilst we're talking, yeah, I really am.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Jolene. Jolene's a woman. Um, she's at Luna Maritz,
yeah,
and she is all about empowering women. Um, so maybe that's something I can you know basically sit down with her, have a cup
yeah.
of coffee, and discuss this whole idea. And maybe she's eager to take on everything else,
Mm,
and she would
yeah.
actually she'd fund the whole thing, definitely.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
but beyond the funding, right? So this is why I'm again going to bring the idea of a personal brand, and why a personal brand is so important, because something that personal brands need to know how to do is leverage. So even though someone has money, right? What are they putting their money into that can actually generate more money for them? So you now, as the personal brand, are becoming a multi-skilled agent. You're becoming someone who is getting people to the platform. You're becoming someone who is communicating the message about the platform. You're becoming someone who is actually linking this person or this process to your lawyers. You're
yeah,
becoming someone who is like, you're becoming a better human being, like, like a higher level, a higher functioning human being. So I think
Sure.
as you are doing that, you must begin to learn how to leverage from these different things. Because if you can begin to learn how to leverage, everyone then can then win. If that makes sense. Like money is not,
Absolutely.
this is something that I learned in a
Not
meeting
the
as well.
full focus.
It shouldn't be the full focus. Like there's so much sometimes, and this was okay coming from an NPO. I had this conversation with an NPO, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna bring money. I'm gonna bring you money," and they were like, "But we're not really interested in the money. So what else can you bring us?" Because the reason why they're saying that whatever they are doing is working. When they ask for money, they get the money. So that's not an
Yeah.
issue. What else can you bring to the table? And
Wow.
this is where a personal brand and an entrepreneurial mind is powerful because you need to be innovative. You already are innovative by coming up with this idea. Okay, cool. How do you now create a situation where this idea becomes real? Because if you can do that, now you're not only a real estate agent, not only are you a marketer, not only are you a CRM expert in how to build databases and how to communicate those channels, you also become someone who can actually build an industry, a brand new setup. And you can begin to teach that to other
Wow.
real estate agents who are younger than you. Maybe you can give this idea away to businesses. And now you're earning so many more streams of income from this single idea of yours. So I think that's that's power right there. That's why a personal brand is absolutely important. And you have one already. It's now just about, okay, cool. Let's be practical about this. Let's put this
Yeah.
down on paper and let's figure out exactly how this is going to work. So I think that should be your next step. I don't know. What do you think?
Absolutely. You know how bad I am putting pen to paper, but yes, you make a lot of sense. And that
Yeah.
is the way forward. That is the way forward,
Yeah.
really. And I need to have it's develop the absolute plan. So if I go to the attorneys, they
Mhm.
see the value in what I'm bringing to them.
Yeah.
Power.
And I think what you could do as well, before you take it to your attorneys that you want to work with, who's your mastermind? Who's the people in your immediate
Yes.
circle that you trust? I think develop your plan, and the first place you go to once that plan is developed is to that immediate circle, and let
Mm,
them bash it out. Like if they need to take a saw and cut off some things, let them do it. Let them do it.
yeah.
Why? Because they're actually going to sharpen your idea. They're going to make it more tangible. And I think if you do that enough times, you get to a stage where you're almost guaranteed to succeed.
Absolutely. I hear you.
Okay, cool.
100%.
So who is in your circle? This is what you need to think
Um,
now. Uh,
yeah. Okay. So I have a few people
yeah.
that some are at work,
Mm,
who know the industry. Some of them have been like Yaku, has
mm,
been in the industry longer than I have. And then
mm,
I've got my daughters, Sadia and
mm,
Shada.
mm,
The actual idea actually stemmed from Sadia, and I'd like her to be involved because when it comes to stuff
oh,
like this, she's very innovative. So
mm,
she would actually help me in terms of being part of the mastermind. She'd come in with the software, the app, all of that, how that would work. I
okay,
would come
okay.
in with my expertise in property and what properties need to be listed. I would come in with my attorneys and my conveyancers and the other agents that I'm talking about. There's three that I have in mind. There may be more
Mm,
who we could actually have a bigger um, when I say, or rather, let me say more property because we'd be
mm,
using their property, my property. So it would be one complete auction of a whole lot of properties, a whole lot of
mm,
properties that we can actually promote and give out to other agencies as well, can then come in with their clientele and say, okay, you know what,
mm,
my client's been looking for this. Here we go.
mm.
So yeah,
Power.
while you're talking, I am thinking, and that's why I'm a little shaky when I'm speaking to you because I'm thinking at the same time as well.
Mm,
I do have a mastermind.
power. So it sounds then like you actually have everything you need. It's just about DJing now,
Putting
moving
yeah,
them, moving them in the
Yes.
right spaces and seeing what that looks like.
Yes.
Something though that I think is very important to mention, right? Now that you have these ideas, you have the product, which will be, I don't know, what will it be? An app? If it's not an app, maybe a web app, but basically a place where people log on to.
Yes.
That's something that you need. So if, what was I trying to say now? Okay. I just drew a blank there. What was I trying to say?
If it's
Okay,
an
cool.
app,
So if it is a web app, right? What you need to then be able to do is build your community, because like we spoke about, you're gonna have to find the like-minded people. And this is something that's very important. We spoke about it as a leader, we spoke about it like just the idea of success, and that success, or building the brand. Sorry, it was about building the brand. When do you get to a stage where your brand is actually recognized for what it's meant to be recognized, right? So that point comes when you do the thing long enough. So chances are you might only find 2 people that's interested in your platform, right? But you then have to continually seek out the people that are like the 2 people who have bought into your system, who have bought into your idea. And I don't know how long that might take, but it's up to you though, like if you can continually just fish and fish and fish and fish
yes.
and keep on building the community, adding it one by one, eventually this thing will catch on and it will become, let's call it viral. And that's really when the success is going to be happening. But I think right now, start with what you have, plug everything into place. Let's see what that looks like. And once it's clear in your mind of a way forward, it's clear, everything is clear. People are in the right places. You can then develop a strategy around your marketing from there. How are you going to communicate this message using the people in your team? So I think this is really exciting because I don't know if
It
you
is.
know this or not, but you are now going to step into a leadership role and it's new.
Wow.
And just like whenever something is new, it probably causes chaos in the beginning, right? But that's when
Yeah.
a leader is actually tested. But just like this whole new COVID thing, it's chaos now because it's new, right?
Yes.
Like eventually people are going to be like, okay, it's normal to wear a mask in public. And then it's no longer an issue. Now you're weird if you're not wearing a mask in public. So
Yes.
I think, do it and be
I'm
be
very excited.
comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah. People are gonna point fingers at you. That's cool. People are gonna tell you, I am guaranteeing you this, Mom Layla. They're
Will
gonna
fail.
tell you this thing won't work. They will tell you that. But until it works, right? That's when they will actually begin to change their mind. So be motivated by those people. But I think what you're trying to do is really exciting. I know it's exciting because I can feel the energy. You're gonna get so
Yes.
much of resistance here. But that's good. When there's resistance, you're doing something. You're doing something that's really impactful. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. I'm actually really gonna give this a go now. After it was just an idea.
Yeah.
And now I've got a whole lot of time on my hands, obviously,
Mm.
because I'm not going to work.
Yeah.
So this is something to really think about and really put into action. And once it's put into action, see what comes of it. I mean, I could actually be literally doing this whole new brand, Layla's Auctions. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
Has not been done before.
Yeah.
Auctions, like I say, I've been in the auction house. It's you literally go, you know ahead of time that there is no way you're going to see this property. They would give you it's like a projection, and they would give you the outside view. You can't get in. You can't get in to see anything. So basically,
Wow.
all the pictures just basically shows you the outside. But now there's a twist to this. I could do a virtual tour. I could actually say, on the actual bidding. So you look at this property, okay, 950 in my price range. Okay, area, my area, cool. Let's go look at what this looks like. And then you press the video and it takes you through the entire property. You then make an accurate decision of what you want to do with this property. So yeah, I'm thinking while you're talking, I've been thinking.
Yeah, and it's everything is possible. I mean, you can do like I know I don't think it's something that you might want to do, but you can actually do all of those things yourself. You can set up the app, you can set up a simple web app, you can set up a simple video link where you can actually where you take the video, like you take your 3D video or your virtual tour and you upload that onto some sort of platform. And then people log onto the platform, they click the house that they are interested in, and then that link pops up, they click the link, then they can experience the virtual tour. You can then also make it so that they have like they can actually buy the house themselves on that platform. Just click whatever they need to click, upload
Yes.
the documents that they need to upload,
Documents.
and
Yes, exactly. That's
do
what I'm
their
thinking.
deposit. Everything can be done. So it's
Wow.
quite, it's very tangible. What you're trying to do is very tangible. And that's really exciting. I'm also thinking about a couple of marketing ideas. This is why people are paying me money. This is why people are paying me money.
I will pay you your money.
So let's just say with your site, right? And you gather your CRM, and let's say you get to a stage where you have 1,000 people that's using your site, active users. You can now begin to rent out marketing spaces on your app just by maybe at the bottom of your page, you list a couple of logos, and those logos, those brands are actually paying you a rental fee to belong on your app. Another way that you can monetize your app idea is by charging people a subscription fee to belong to that app. Make sure it's a reasonable fee. You know, like imagine 50, you have 1,000 people paying you 50 Rand. How much is that? 50 is 50,000, eh?
50,000.
50,000. And that's just from not even they didn't buy anything yet. I mean, you didn't make any other commissions, just from this system that you developed. You can be raking in like some very good money. Yeah, just by setting it up. Another way that you can monetize it is by like getting different companies to also be a part of it. Maybe there's like a brand, the Muresa brand that has an online shop, and maybe you are doing your auctions in your walk virtual tour. You have a Muresa shirt. You can have the Muresa brand on your web app and have a link to their shop. But that link has a special code attached to it so that when people make purchases, you then get another commission from that. So I think online, if you step into the online game, which you're about to do, your earning potential it times by 10. Instead of just earning as an estate agent, you can now earn in so many different ways. Yeah.
Cool. I love it.
Okay, cool.
So in terms of the building my own website and all of that, yeah, no, okay.
Yeah.
That's not my thing.
But that's cool. That's cool. And I think I want to actually get your take on this now. Now that you've seen, or now that we had this discussion, how would you answer that question? How do you adapt in a time of change? How do you adapt? Just very quickly. I think we have about 2 minutes left.
You remove the blinders. You've shown us this before on the platform that you can diversify in so many ways. And I think we're all stuck on, with the blinders, we're stuck on, okay, I'm a real estate agent. I go out there, I sell houses. That's what I got to do. I've got to get to a property on time. I've got to show the property on time. I've got to write the offer. I've got to send it to the conveyancer. That's the program. But now you've actually shown me that, you know what, with everybody that I have on my side, everybody that I can utilize, the mastermind, putting together the mastermind for this whole thing, these different things I can actually do. I could have an online bidding, an online auction house. And yes, and I've never, it was an idea I was playing with, but now it looks so much more real. It looks like, hey, this is absolutely tangible. I can do this. And with that, having said that, I've actually very recently, someone approached me and said, I do all these amazing paintings. So I'm like, okay, if that's the case, I'll have this online bidding, and then all your painting and everything, you can basically get your painting from this artist. Remember, we were talking actually about the Katanos.
Yes,
I
yes,
told you
yes,
about,
yes,
So
yes.
they have this whole painting gallery scenario. Get an income from them,
Mhm.
advertise for them, market for them. Yeah. So as you're talking, I'm thinking
Oh,
this is very doable. Absolutely,
wow.
very exciting.
Oh, so I like that. I think let's end the conversation with that. So how you adapt to change is just remove blinders and what? Sum it up first. Give us a nice clear. So let's talk to a 13-year-old now, a 13-year-old that doesn't understand the whole blinders concept. Say it plain and simple, and then we end the session. How do you adapt to
Okay.
change?
You basically need to see beyond the picture, beyond the problem. You need to know that, okay, there is a problem, but how do I get past this? How do I remove this wall? And you go
Yeah.
get your hammer and you start knocking down walls.
Wow, that's perfect. Okay, we're going to end the session there. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Yeah, this was great value add. Thank you, Mam Leila. Peace to you. Peace to you.
Thank you. Good evening.